Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Introducing Me. This will probably be my only video this week as it is my anniversary coming up. My 2-year wedding anniversary is next week on Tuesday, and my husband and I are actually going to be spending the weekend up in Cripple Creek playing the casinos and, just going to museums and just spending time, just the two of us. Definitely much needed after, all the stuff that we put up with at our jobs and, things of that nature. Um, but this is going to be our 2-year anniversary. We actually met 5 years ago in May. He was doing a shift at the store I worked at. We both work at the same convenience store, just different locations. And he happened to be working at my location that day. And he was only working a couple of shifts that week, but, we hit it off. The chemistry was there. And then the next month we started dating, made it official. And then in February, Valentine's Day of 2021, he proposed. And then we set our wedding date for March 18th of 2023 to give us time to pay bills and, be financially stable enough to, get married, because he was in the middle of college and stuff like that. So it's like we wanted to make sure that we were financially ready to get married, to have a place of our own, because we were living with his mom at the time. So it's like we wanted to get a place of our own, which we did. So yeah, this year marks 2 years. We've been dating it'll be 5 years in June. But this is actually my second marriage. My first marriage was in 2014. We met in 2011 when we, surprisingly, working together. He started at a restaurant I was working at back home in Texas. And that was a different story. It wasn't like my husband's and I story where we just, hit it off whenever we first met kind of thing. We didn't really know each other all that well. He'd come from California, and then was, in Killeen, Texas, in Fort Hood, where his sister and brother-in-law were at the time. And altercations happened between brother and my ex-husband. So he ended up moving to where I was in Texas and starting working where I was working at. But at first, we really didn't mesh well, I guess you could say. Like, we were cool, to hang out outside of work as friends kind of thing. And then getting to know him, he was a really sweet guy, and, he told me about what was going on, the situation and everything. And I had a vehicle, so I told him, hey, if you ever want to make the drive, let's, work our schedule, see if we're off the same day or on a weekend or something. And, we'll just go up there. It's only a, 2.5 hour drive, I don't mind. And then, surprisingly enough, it was his sister who convinced him that, looks aren't everything. And, if, she's showing she cares, give it a go kind of thing. So I think it took a few months before we actually officially started dating. And then we were together for 2 years before he actually proposed. And then we got married in November of 2014. Conveniently, a couple of days after my brother's birthday. It was my brother's birthday, the 19th. His actual wedding anniversary was the 20th because he got married to his wife in November 20th of 2009. And I got married November 21st, 2014. So that was a convenient way to memorize anniversaries. But we moved from Texas to Colorado in 2016. And not even being here a year. And we were at each other's throats. And he was actually talking to someone else while we were still married. I was also talking to someone else, but we never really did anything until after we were separated. So we separated in 2017, and then our divorce was finalized in April of 2018. Started my new relationship. It was in 2017, but it was while we were separated. So we didn't really make that official until after the divorce was finalized. He actually got remarried to the person he was talking to behind my back while we were married. He actually got married to her in the day after my birthday in August of 2021. I'm kind of, I was kind of bitter about it for a while because it was like, we've only been divorced for 3 years, but you already moved on and, got remarried. But it's like your life, your business, whatever. So I started my new relationship, and I think we were more of just friends and roommates, honestly. We never really had that connection or chemistry. He was, a stoner, as they call him here. He liked smoking weed or doing dabs or whatever it is they do. I don't like being near it. So it's like, I told him, it's like, you can do it, but don't do it around me, go to a friend's house, whatever. But yeah, it's like we lived together for 3 years. And then in March of 2020, I pretty much told him, it's like, hey, I'm going to finish out this 2-month lease on the apartment, and then I'm going to find something different. It's like, I think it's best if you, because he's actually from Florida. He actually came down here with some roommates, and then it was a whole debacle on that. But I told him, it's like, hey, I think it'd be best if you, go back home to Florida. It's like your family's there, you have some friends there, but like things between us aren't going anywhere. So it's like, I'm gonna move out, find somewhere different for me, which is, I actually moved in with my husband before we officially started dating, but it was just better for me. But when my husband and I first got together, I didn't know that he did dabs as well. So I told him flat out, it's like, hey, I don't mind if you do it. Like, it's your life, whatever, but don't do it around me. I don't like being around it, like, at all. It's just not for me. It's like, I have friends who smoke weed. I have friends who do dabs. I have friends who do pretty much all of that stuff, but it's like, just don't do it around me. I don't like it. So there was one day that he actually almost lost me. I found out that he was interested in someone of the same sex as him. And it kind of, I'm not going to say broke me, but it did upset me a little bit. Because it's like, here I was thinking that he's, showing interest in me, allowing me to stay with him until either I found a new place, or if things were going the way that they were going, we were just, official start dating, and, I would just stay there until we found something for just us. Cause he was also rooming with his brother at the time. So yeah, he almost lost me in those instances. But I think once he realized that, I'm showing interest in him, and like he showed how much he cared about me and didn't want to lose me, he pretty much went full in for our relationship. And, things went from there. And here we are 2 years later. No kids yet, but I am hoping here soon we will have a little one along. But how about you guys? What's your wedding story? How did you meet your significant other? How long have you been married? What's your secret to a happy marriage? Let me know in the comments. And as always, subscribe. You guys have a good week.